One of the easiest ways to raise an irresponsible adult is to be an extremely responsible parent. Think about it. You remember everything. You pack everything. You remind them 17 times. You bring the homework they forgot. You replace the water bottle they lost. You clean the room they destroyed. You solve the problem they created. And then one day we look at this child and say, why can't you remember anything for yourself? Because apparently they hired you. And you've been employee of the month for 12 straight years. Parents, if we want responsible adults, we have to give children something to be responsible for. Responsibility is not just chores. It's learning. Some things belong to me to handle. My belongings, my commitments, my schoolwork, my mistakes, my words, my choices, and eventually my life. That doesn't happen automatically when they turn 18. Responsibility has to be transferred little by little while they're still young enough for us to coach them. When they're little, it might be put your toys away, carry your backpack, put your dirty clothes in the basket, feed the dog. As they grow, the responsibility grows. Check your assignments. Pack what you need for practice. Set your alarm. Manage your money. Communicate with your teacher. Show up when you said you would. The goal is not to suddenly hand them their entire life at 17 and say, good luck out there, champ. We transfer responsibility, one manageable piece at a time. But here's where parenting gets hard, because sometimes letting your child be responsible is inconvenient for you. You could do it faster. You can do it better. You could prevent the mistake. You could save everybody 20 minutes. Have you ever watched a child load a dishwasher? At some point, you're standing there thinking, there are only 12 dishes. How has this become a documentary? But they're learning. If every time they struggle, you say, move, I'll do it, they may learn something you never intended to teach. When something gets difficult, somebody more capable will take over. Then we wonder why they quit so quickly. Sometimes good parenting requires letting something take longer. Let's play this out. Your 10-year-old has practice after school. You told him last night, pack your bag. He didn't. Now you're halfway there and suddenly, I forgot my shoes. And every parenting instinct wakes up. We have to turn around. Do we? Maybe. Sometimes circumstances matter. But before immediately rescuing, pause and ask, what do you think we should do? Now his brain has to work. Maybe he says, can we go back? You can ask, what will happen if we do? We'll be late. What will happen if we don't? I might not be able to practice. Now you're helping him think through consequences instead of automatically removing them. Maybe you decide to go back this time. Fine. But now there needs to be a plan. Tonight, what can you do differently so this doesn't happen again? Pack my bag before bed. Good. How will you remember? I'll put it by the door. Now we're building responsibility. Not your mother will remember your shoes forever. And sometimes you don't go back. That isn't cruelty. A safe, manageable consequence can teach what 17 reminders could not. Maybe they sit out part of practice. Maybe they explain to the coach, I forgot my shoes. Not, my mom forgot my shoes. Oh, little brother, let's clean that sentence up immediately. You forgot your shoes, and I love you deeply. But both things can be true. This is where parents need patience, because when children begin taking responsibility, they will mess it up. That's part of the process. The bed will not look like you made it. The folded towel may resemble an injured burrito. The lunch they pack might be nutritionally confusing. They're learning. Do not require adult level performance from a child practicing an adult skill. Correct, teach, show them again, but don't take the responsibility back just because their first attempt wasn't impressive. Competence comes after practice, not before it. And be careful with reminders. Children need reminders, especially younger children. But there's a difference between supporting memory and becoming their memory. Instead of get your shoes, get your homework, get your water bottle, get your jacket, try, what do you need before we leave? Now they have to retrieve the information. Instead of your homework is due tomorrow, try, what responsibilities do you have for tomorrow? Instead of solving, ask, what is your plan? What do you think needs to happen next? What could you do differently? What part of this belongs to you? Questions make their brain work. And when they make a mistake, help them own it without becoming it. There's a difference between that was irresponsible and you are irresponsible. One identifies a behavior, the other can become an identity. We want the child thinking, I made a poor choice and I can repair it, not I'm just the kid who messes everything up. So teach, repair. You broke it. How can you help fix or replace it? You hurt someone. How can you make it right? You spent all your money. Then you may have to wait before buying something else. You missed the deadline. Let's figure out what happens now. The responsibility isn't never making mistakes. It's learning what to do after you make one. And parents, we have to examine ourselves too. Sometimes we rescue our children, not because they need rescuing, but because we cannot tolerate watching them struggle. They're discomfort makes us uncomfortable. Their forgotten assignment makes us embarrassed. Their coach being disappointed makes us anxious. Their B makes us want to email somebody at 10:43 at night. Sometimes the child is ready for a consequence and the parents isn't. That's worth sitting with. Ask yourself, am I helping because my child truly needs help or because helping makes me feel better? Parenting will grow you if you let it. And don't confuse responsibility with making children carry adult burdens. Your 8-year-old should have responsibilities. They should not feel responsible for your emotions, your marriage, your finances, or keeping the entire family together. Give children child-sized responsibilities, then increase it as their capacity grows. We're developing them, not overwhelming them. And parents model responsibility. If you're wrong, own it. If you're late because you didn't plan well, don't blame traffic like traffic personally betrayed you. Say, I didn't leave enough time. That's on me. If you lose your temper, I shouldn't have spoken to you that way. I'm responsible for how I handled my frustration. If you promise something, do your best to follow through. Your child is learning responsibility, not only from what you require, but from what you model. Luke 16:10 says, whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. That's the process. Little things before big things. A bedroom before an apartment. $10 before a paycheck. Homework before a career. Showing up to practice before people depend on them professionally. Taking care of a pet before one day taking care of a family. Childhood gives us lower stakes opportunities to practice higher stakes characteristics. Use them. One day, you won't be there. You won't be standing beside them saying, did you set your alarm? Did you pay the bill? Did you finish the assignment? Did you call them back? Did you bring what you need? And you shouldn't have to, because the goal isn't to become so necessary that your child cannot function without you. The goal is to gradually become less necessary. I know that can hurt, but that is success. So start small, give them something that belongs to them, teach it, practice it, expect it, let them occasionally forget, let manageable consequences teach. Ask questions instead of immediately solving. Help them repair mistakes and resist the urge to take every responsibility back because you can do it better. Because if you do everything for your child, you may have a beautifully managed childhood and an adult who has no idea how to manage themselves. We're not trying to raise children who never forget their shoes. We're trying to raise adults who eventually know my life belongs to me. My choices belong to me. My mistakes belong to me. And when something is my responsibility, I can handle it. That's responsibility. And just like self-control, we build it before they need it.